Hello everybody, hope you're all doing good. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I go about resetting my pantry and also share with you the supplies that I have bought for the next few weeks, including some fruits and vegetables, some helpful freezing tips, ways to store your greens so that it has a good shelf life. Having a well-stocked pantry has a lot of advantages, and I usually go through this ritual every 2 weeks, and resetting my pantry and stocking up on ingredients and checking on foodstuffs has made my cooking a lot easier, saving me valuable time, energy, and also avoid unnecessary headaches while trying to meal plan. Powdered and whole spices have a long shelf life and can even last up to a year. I usually store them in these transparent glass jars and make sure I clean it up every 2 weeks and keep it airtight when not in use. These are my absolute essentials, and I really can't imagine cooking without them. Of course, there are tons of other spices and spice blends out there, and there are some which you can really do without if you will not be needing them every day. It's always better to stock up on the basics first and buy the rest as and when you need them. I'm also trying to minimize my frequent run to the grocery store during these times and have started to shop online, which is saving me so much of time and making cooking such a joy for me. And I also make sure I have enough grains, lentils, beans, pasta, as well as tea, coffee, sugar and salt. And with the right ingredients on hand, you can easily throw up your last minute dinner, whip up some easy breakfast, and also satisfy late night hunger cravings by stocking up on some popcorn kernels, hummus, puff fries, etc. It gets a little stressful for me to cook without having a meal plan, and I always make sure I plan for at least 2 weeks in advance. So here I have a whole basket of fruits and vegetables that has been delivered to me, and I know I'll not be able to use all of them. So I decided to batch freeze certain vegetables that I might not be needing for the current week in order to prevent waste. The quarantine days have taught me the value of meal planning and to focus on healthy eating. Although I'm the sort of a person who is organized, I never made food a priority. I used to only plan meals for a day and made frequent trips to the grocery store to buy some last minute staples. We have also tried to include more vegetables and fruits than we used to, and I have also pushed myself to move out of my comfort zone and try my hands on new recipes. Rinsing these fruits and vegetables is a whole process which I've included during these days, and I do not use any heavy detergents or alcohol-based sanitizers. What I do is just leave them untouched for a few hours and then simply run tap water for about 20 seconds. You can also use turmeric water, and I wash each one of them by hand. I also lay them out in the sun for a few hours before I pack them up in the refrigerator. The vegetables were getting rotten too quickly, so I've resorted to freezing the ones that can do well. I usually freeze the less moist vegetables, and here I'm freezing some green beans and carrots. Almost all the vegetables must be blanched before freezing, as it can retain the vegetable's natural color, flavor and nutritive value. I usually freeze in small batches as I don't store them for longer periods of time. I always chop the vegetables into large chunks so that it will be easier to use them later depending on the recipes. Chopping the vegetables also makes it easier to use when they are thawed. Although chopping vegetables and then freezing may cause slight change in their nutritive content, you can still retain most of its nutritional value by freezing only freshly harvested produce. To blanch the vegetables, I shock them up by pouring boiling water for just a split second and then plunge them in ice cold water. I don't usually boil the vegetables as they tend to overcook, and then I quickly dry them up and store in airtight containers. While it is good to thaw certain vegetables like spinach, peas, corn and other cooked food items, there are certain vegetables which becomes limp when we defrost them too much. So the trick is to add the frozen vegetables directly as it is while preparing warm recipes like soups, stews, gravies and pasta, for example. When it is to be eaten raw, as in a salad, it is best to thaw the vegetables. Also, please note that these frozen vegetables were blanched earlier, so it is already half cooked. So while cooking, please make sure you add it towards the end or in the middle while half frying to avoid it getting overcooked. Usually the problem I have with greens is that it loses its freshness easily. I have tried numerous ways to keep them fresh, but the method I'm sharing now has worked so well for me. So what I do is I first wash the greens well and allow them to dry over the counter. I also pull out the dried leaves or any blackened or soggy parts, as they tend to spoil the rest of the leaves. Then I trim out the roots and keep keep the leaves along with the stem. This time I'm planning to regrow the coriander and hence retaining the roots for potting them. I spread out a kitchen towel and roll the coriander in batches. This will help the coriander stay fresh for a longer time and prevent it from getting rotten too quickly. I then transfer the burrito roll into my Tupperware container, and you won't believe my coriander leaves stays fresh for more than 6 weeks using this method. So that's a wee trick here for all of you struggling with greens. So I guess that's about it guys for today, and I hope all these tips and ideas are helpful for you. If you have any other tips for pantry organization or storage tips, please do drop in a comment below. I shall see you soon with another video, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification. Take care and bye.